Hi, gang. It's Danny Starnes with the Lake Association, and I got something pretty special for y'all today. So, Sally Winter and I have been friends for several years now. When she lived out of town and she was thinking about moving to our lake, she had contacted me about some property we had for sale, and we became really good friends. And through the course of the last 3 or 4 years, she had told me that she had skied at Cypress Gardens, and that's pretty much all I knew. So I asked her, would she be willing to sit down in front of a camera and explain about Cypress Gardens and all that entails, and if she would mind sending me some pictures of her at Cypress Gardens, which is where the story begins. When I got the files the next morning, I had episodes of 007. I had magazine covers. I had her with the King of Jordan. I had her working on television commercials. And that's where this whole story begins. So, Sally, tell me about growing up. So you're a water skier, and your parents don't really have a boat or anything, so you're just bumming rides.
Yeah,
So
neighbors.
how does that go? So,
Well, we lived on a point of land, and we had a home on Sassafras on Chesapeake, and we were all like my neighbor. I called Uncle Bill. No relation, but we were all that close, and the other people had boats, and all my older brothers and sisters learned to ski. The graciousness of our neighbors, and Uncle Bill asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I was going to be 5, and I said I wanted to learn to ski. So we scoured the point for the smallest skis. We didn't have any trainers or any boom or anything like that back then. And he brought his boat around, and my dad held me in the shallow water off the beach, and he took off, and I skied away at the ripe old age of 5 years old, and I was hooked.
no kidding.
From that point on.
No kidding. So they never actually bought a boat, or I mean, I know they had
Well,
boats.
they eventually bought a boat.
A ski boat or something to pull you with?
Yeah, but I still preferred my friends' boats, had better boats.
So you grow up water skiing, and then you go off to college, right?
Yeah.
Go off to college. Where'd you go to school?
Penn State.
Penn State.
Sorry, Auburn.
So you graduate from Penn State, or how does the whole Cypress Gardens
Well, we
thing
were
happen?
down the summer before my senior year. We're on the point skiing, and we had a guy that lived in our community in Maryland who was a kite flyer and a skier.
A kite flyer? You mean like
Delta Wing? Yeah. The boat tows you up, and they release and fly down.
Okay.
And he did like a beach barefoot off the point where we skied, and we were all enthralled with him. He was the main man. Anyway, he said to me, "You are good enough to ski at Cypress Gardens." And I said, "What's that?" So he told me all about Cypress Gardens, this wonderful place in Florida where you can go water ski, and they pay you to water ski. And senior year, spring break, my senior year, my boyfriend and I went to Florida and auditioned. And we had to take off on 2 skis and drop a ski and ski around and do arm ballet, put the rope between your legs, and And then we took off again, and I had to drop the other ski, which was the first time I'd ever skied on my right foot. But I made it, so, and they thought I was good enough, so, because they hired me, so. Went back to school and waited and finally called, and he said, well, I can't hire you in the spring because the summers are slow season, so I can hire you in September. So I had one last summer at home.
Wow.
So that was nice.
Wow.
And he said, get practice on your right foot and get a swivel ski. So I went
a swivel ski.
Yes, swivel ski. It's the ski goes straight and the binder turns. And I was just like
I've never
you.
I've never seen one.
I had never seen one before that either. So I went to Johnny Williamson and said I need a swivel ski. So the girls at his ski club were all too happy to give me this death trap of a ski that they none of them wanted anything to do with. So I tried it, and on my left foot, because I was not very good on my right foot. I rarely skied on my right foot, and made a couple turns, and I just said, you know, I'll never be able to do this. And but they'd already hired me, so I figured I'll go to Florida, and then when they figure out I can't ski, then I got a college degree. I can get a job down there just as easily as I can get one up here. So I went to Florida and took my little swivel ski with me, which they laughed at. They laughed at myself. It was just like an old wooden jumper with hardware store swivel for Lazy Susan with a binder mounted on it. It was dangerous, and they hid their, smirk, and Nova told me to give that to the boat boys, to the boat drivers, and this over here, this is a real swivel ski, okay, which it had a stop. It would go 180 and stop. You could turn backwards and then go around. Oh, well, that should be easier,
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So I like the second day, I went out with a girl and I tried it. I'm on my right foot, which is new to begin with, and I made a turn and fell some, but made a couple turns and came in, and about 3 months, I guess I mastered it. I got good at doing toe turns, and I started getting, the next couple months I started getting really good and being able to do star ballerina in the show. And
so ballerina is basically what we know Cypress Gardens for, I guess ballerina.
Well, see, here I am thinking I'm going to get to barefoot and jump and fly a kite, and they hand me a tutu and a swivel ski, and I'm like, what? What? Anyway.
So you start performing at Cypress Gardens. Somebody told me the other day that Cypress Gardens was the first amusement park in the United States.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, I misspoke, but they told me that
they got Disney into it.
Yeah, well, from what they told me, Disney didn't really want to be a part of it at first, and then Walt Disney's brother was a big fan, and so he kind of married the relationship or whatever. The two Disney brothers did. It was an interesting story, but so now you're performing, and is this where the commercials come in?
No.
So where are we headed next? So
Well, I'm on the front dock with the show director, and I was getting good enough on the 180, and I just said to him, why stop at 180? Why not go 360? And he got all excited and got me my own ski, which I was supposed to share with the other girls who wanted no parts of it.
So I don't mean to cut you off. The ski that turned all the way around, did they build it or just change the stop or take the stop out or something? I mean,
well, in the beginning, like in the 50s, Red McGuire made a swivel ski for Willa. McGuire, Cook, she had several names. But she was like the best female skier at the Gardens in the 50s. She was in the movie, the famous one at the Gardens. Anyway, and she used it in trick skiing competition, and they outlawed it, the 360.
So when you say outlawed, you mean the government or Cypress Gardens?
The tournament directors.
Okay.
The people running the tournaments. Okay. So they put a stop in it, and she could only go 180, and then just used it for show skiing. She didn't use it for tournament skiing. And it was 180 from then until I got there and said, hey, let's go 360. And now it's like everybody, you can't get a job skiing. Well, there aren't a lot of ski shows now, but you have to be able to 360 to get a job skiing.
You sent me an article that claimed you designed the ski. You just made it popular. Is that, I mean...
Well, in the Hall of Fame, they have a picture of me, and it says I invented the 360 swivel ski, which I didn't invent the 360s. Anyway, no, I've had to explain that to several people, but I just took it from 180 to 360. I did the first 360 maneuver in the Gardens show since Willa Cook was.
So I'm assuming there's one of these skis. So they had to go into manufacturing them, or
no? They just took the stops out.
Oh, so the ones that were stopping, they could just.
We started. Actually, my ex and I started making them, and we had stops that were removable. You could go left foot left or right, or take it out altogether. And I just took the stops out and threw it away. I never went back to 180, and I was supposed to use a 180 in the ballet line because they assumed that, me being on a 360 would bring the ballet line down. But once I got used to 360, I couldn't, I'd hit that stop and it would throw me off balance.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't think my foot stopped perfectly front, forward, or backwards. I think it was kind of somewhere in between. But, so where were we?
We were talking about the swivel ski, and did you, did that become like a competition, or did it?
No, it's just the star
just stayed in the show.
Yeah. Up until I think 82 was the first swivel competition. 82 or 83, I forget what year it was.
So the truth is, you're the person responsible for making it popular again.
For making it hard on all the skiers, all the female skiers.
I'm guessing the females had to learn how to do
Up
it.
their game, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's some
But Sally had rolled into town.
she made it difficult. No, there were some, like Penny Van Gundy was just graceful, beautiful toe turns, and she never really got into 360. But when I was first there, I would watch, when I wasn't star, after ballet, I would go out and I would watch the star skier, and it wasn't so much how many tricks you could do or what tricks you could do, because the audience doesn't really know, and none of them in the audience can do it. They see a girl going around with it attached to her foot, and they're like, "Oh my God, she's skiing with a rope attached to her foot,"
Right.
And a girl could go out, like little Linda could go out and do one toe turn and blow a kiss, and they're like, "Oh my," oohs and ahs. And then you'd get somebody else trying to do a lot of tricks, and you had to make it look good.
Mm-hmm.
It was like ballet. It's like, let's say, Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. It wasn't how many turns you could do. It was how good it looked, basically.
Yeah. If you found value in that video, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. And you can keep up with the rest of Sally's story. We're going to go into competing in a male-dominated sport, becoming friends, and interacting with the King of Jordan. 007. How did she get there? What was Sean Connery like? We're going to cover a lot of stuff with Sally, and hopefully you'll get to see Sally still riding, still enjoying the water, still enjoying Neely Henry Lake. So really consider joining the Lake Association. It's a tax-deductible donation of $25 a year, and you get to see what we do and how we do it. Become a part. If you know somebody with a neat story like Sally's, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to them and become a part. Become a part of something that's a really great thing in our community. Have a great evening. God bless.